Hey everybody, today I'm talking about Legendary Dimensions, which is one of the newer expansions for Marvel Legendary, which is a deck building game. This one's quite interesting. It's a small box game that only has 100 cards in it, but this one contains some cards that were previously only available on chasers, so they were collectible cards, but now they've been released in a box. So let's have a look what you get inside. So you've got a number of heroes. You've got Squirrel Girl, you've got Howard the Duck, you've got Miss America, ManThing, and Jessica Jones. And there is a couple of new keywords, or at least one new keyword that I haven't seen before, which is switcheroo, which is used by Squirrel Girl. Now switcheroo is quite cool because you can use it to swap this card with a card with the recruitment value of that number that's in the HQ. So you can just, if you had enough of this card, you can swap it with one that maybe is more appropriate to your needs. So Squirrel Girl is quite a popular character in Marvel, not really my cup of tea, but you know, I think there's going to be a lot of people who are happy that she's finally got her own card set. So as I said, switcheroo is kind of her main thing, and she also uses the old investigate rule, which was from the Marvel Noir set. Investigate obviously lets you look at the top two cards of your deck for a certain thing. So for example, this one lets you investigate for a card that costs 3 or less. And her most powerful card is a value of 8, because it does 5 attack, but it lets you switch for a value for 1 to 5. But it's also, if you have the 2 instinct heroes, then you can change it for like up to a number 8 instead. So again, a really versatile card, which could be very useful. Next we had Howard the Duck. Now Howard the Duck was previously available. He was one of those cards, but I never got my hands on him. So happy to have him now. I don't think he's particularly powerful, but he's a cool character. So it kind of looks like his kind of thing is to maybe get more cards into your hand and stuff like this. This one says lets you reveal the top card of the bystander deck. If it's a special bystander, rescue it. Otherwise put it on the bottom. So a nice way to get points. And this one here lets you, for attack, this is his most powerful card by the way. It lets you draw 3 cards of your top of your deck, draw one of them and discard one and KO one. So a nice way of thinning out your deck and getting the cards you want. So that's Howard the Duck. Next we have Miss America. I must admit, not a character I'm particularly familiar with. She has the teleport rule, which is always useful. That's the one that lets you take the card out of your hand and put it aside to your next hand. So you've got a 7 card hand instead. So it looks like she's got a lot of a punching power. So she gets +1 attack for each other card in your hand. So again, if you combine that with heroes who get lots of cards into your hand, then she can potentially do a lot of damage. Next we have ManThing. Now ManThing is another one of the chase characters. He was previously available on promos, but I think it was pretty much like impossible to get. So he has the teleport ability. He gets +2 attack, usable only against villains in the sewers or the Mastermind with his lowest card. So his thing is mainly focused on the state of the board. So he gives you points based on where people are, or more attack based on where villains are in the city. For example, in his biggest card there, number 7, Eternity of Solitude, he gives you 5 attack, but an extra 1 attack for each empty city space. So yeah, he really focuses on the state of play on the board. And finally, we have Jessica Jones, who is a really cool character. She has the switcheroo ability back from her days as, I forgot what she was called. But yeah, thematic sense there. And her most powerful card naturally has the investigate ability because she is a private investigator. Gives you 4 attack and it lets you investigate the villain deck for a villain, and you can put it into your villain pile, but you got to do the fight effect. So you know, a nice way again of just really boosting points and thinning out that villain deck. So that's the heroes. So you got 5. I think I'm quite happy with those heroes. 5 cool heroes. Mastermind though, you've got J. Jonah Jameson of all people. This one kind of baffled me a bit, but I guess it makes sense. He's very weak because he's just a human being. He's got no superpowers. But his thematic ties are that he has shield agents kind of accompanying him in like an angry mob stack. So you can spend 4 attack to reveal a random angry mob and put it into any player's discard pile. And you can't fight him unless you've got rid of the angry mob. He controls the spider slayers, which we'll get to in a bit. And the Master Strike is each player investigates the deck for a card and puts it into the Angry Mob stack. So he can really get a nice crowd around him and get hard to fight him. And the two villain groups, or the henchman villain groups, are the Spider Slayers and the Circus of Crime. These again were promos that you could, they were hard to come by. But I did actually have these two, so these are actually the first kind of duplicate set of cards that I have. But they are nice sets, and I'm glad they're available to everybody. This one, the Spider Slayers, let you reveal the top 2 cards of your deck, put the enemy that costs 2 or less into your hand, and put the rest into any order. So nice ways of getting like new recruitment and stuff into your hand. And the Circus of Crime, who are quite a cool group of Marvel villains. Once you fight them, you can reveal the top card of your deck. If it costs 0, KO it. Otherwise, draw it. So a nice one to fight maybe later in the game. Thin your deck out and get the powerful cards into your hand. So that's kind of the main bulk of it. You've also got a few of these, what do you call them? These civilian cards, or these bystander cards. They're kind of, I guess they're kind of scratching their heads for ideas now, because you've got some strange things like forklift drivers, double agents of shields, fortune tellers, and bulldozer drivers of all things. But these are okay. But the one that I really like is this one here. I think this is probably one of my favourite bystander cards yet to come. This one here is the photographer, and he's worth 1 point for each hero that you have that costs 7 or more in your hand or in your cards at the end of the game. So he kind of gets those cool cinematic shots of all your most powerful heroes' abilities. So yeah, I think this is a pretty decent set of cards. I'm happy with it. It's nothing, it's nothing game changing, and but again, it's a nice set, and it's nice to have these cards available again. Always great artwork with Marvel Legendary. And yeah, happy with it, and it will go into my collection quite nicely. So that is Legendary Dimensions. Yeah, check this one out.